Hey everybody, this is Pastor Dave coming to you with Riding the Storm Out, and this is our Friday Meet the Helpers special. Now, you know, we've been doing this now for several weeks, and Meet the Helpers comes from Mr. Rogers. It comes from when he was a little boy, and he was asking his mom, what do you do when times are frightening, when you're a little afraid? And she said, well, always look for the helpers, because they're always there. Sometimes they're on the fringes and you don't see them unless you look, but they're always there. So for the past several weeks, on Friday nights, we've been meeting the helpers, finding out people that have been helping out in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of this COVID situation. So we've met all kinds of people. Tonight, I want you to meet somebody that I've had the great privilege of working with now for 2 years, but especially closely during this COVID pandemic time, because as soon as this thing hit, as soon as lockdown started going into place and it appeared that life was going to be different, Mark said, hey, we got to talk. He came in and we met and we started talking about what can we do to make sure that people feel connected all along the way. So tonight I want you to meet Mark Montgomery, music director here at Chapel Hill United Methodist Church, whose first words to me when I met him a few years ago were, are you an alien? Those were his first words to me, because in the Methodist Church, you don't typically get to meet the pastor before they came, but he and I actually had a meeting beforehand. So anyway, so Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh.
How long have you been doing this?
Where do we start? I was 18, so what's that, 20 years? No, 40 plus years.
40 plus years of doing
40
this?
plus years, yeah. My first job was in Greenwood, and the guy said, you'll work 6 months, and then we'll have a review to see if we want to keep you on. Well, we never had that review, and I've been doing it ever since then. So yeah, I've been doing church music since I was 18, and I presently teach at Ben Davis High School.
That's right.
Doing the tech stuff.
So what went through your mind and your brain and your heart and everything else when you heard that we were going to be basically closing down official gatherings at the church, that made you come into my office?
Because you told me to.
No.
No. It's well, that's the whole point of church, is the connection and the comfort that you get when you do come to church each Sunday morning, and being able to be with friends and relatives and share and fellowship. That's vital for people to feel good. So it is very important that we keep that piece going, that they feel connected, especially as when you're inside 24/7. How do you feel connected? How do you know what's going on?
Yeah. So just to list a few things, we're standing in front of this stage here. Some of my pastor friends are like, so are you back in church yet? Are you back in church? And I'm like, I've got this guy named Mark that goes out of his way to make everything awesome. And we've got this amazing stage here, largely because of Mark. And so really, truthfully, we can stay out here until the weather forces us to go in and be safe.
Well, the beauty of it is, though, Dave, because of my job at Ben Davis, I have access to all of this. One. Number two, this is what I do for a living. I put sets and stages and do this kind of stuff all the time. So in essence, this really isn't anything new. It's just at a different place at a different time, and definitely for a different purpose.
It is definitely new, definitely for a different purpose, and it is what you do, but it's how you do it that makes the difference. I've seen Mark out here. He and I come out here, and until recently, we set this thing up every Sunday morning with the sound and everything else, and I've seen him dripping with sweat making this happen.
Yeah, you do your share.
So tell me, because I've watched you now for 2 years, and what happened in the middle of this didn't surprise me, because what I've seen in you is this huge, generous, giving heart that is always there for people. Where did that come from? Was that modeled for you? Is that something that you...
My grandma was 4 feet 5 inches, maybe 6 inches. And she was scary. And you did what Grandma fatally said. And she heard me sing one time, and she pointed her little finger at me, and she said, Mark, you will use that for God, or I will haunt you. There's a part of me that believes that. But I just grew up this way. That's just the way my family was. That's just the way, my dad was very active in Newcastle, where we grew up, and very active in the community and in Newcastle, and he was a fuel oil agent, so there would be people who would not have money to pay their bill, and it'd be in the middle of the winter time, and we'd still go out and give them fuel and take care of them, and they always paid. It's just not, you gave them a chance. So I grew up with it because that's just part of what we did and how we were. So I really don't know any different. That's just something needs to be done. You got to do it.
Yeah, you are very good at doing that. I mean, amongst the stage, we've loaded up his pickup truck. Matter of fact, he got a brand new pickup truck. I think he used the church as an
my
excuse.
wife can't hear that.
I think he used the church as an excuse because we got a pickup truck that we go out and do concerts in people's driveways, and the two homes where people retire around here we go to, and we've gotten such incredible feedback from them on how meaningful that is when we come out and just sing our silly little songs with our little
but it's
pickup truck.
fun.
Yeah.
And when it's fun, it's easy.
Yes.
And when it's fun, you don't mind doing it.
No.
When I grew up, it was just, you have a choice. You can either be mad or you can be happy about it. And, that's just the way it's always been. I'd rather enjoy it than I would be, dreading it.
Oh, yeah.
So just look at the positive side. It's easier.
Look for the good in everything.
That could be a song.
It could be a song, yeah.
Could be really a song. We need to write that.
Yeah. So tell me, what have you learned in all this? One of the conversations we had earlier at the beginning is, what are we going to learn from this? What have you learned in the midst of all this?
How one, the need to have that connection, and how important that connection is, and how important it is that we all stay there to support each other, like the mask. All those ladies making all those masks and the needs and the sweets on Friday, and how all that is so important to individuals. For me, my needs are different, and my normal is not your normal, and you have to understand that, and you have to be ready to assist wherever you feel comfortable doing that, because it just makes everything easier. It's happier. It's fun. There's just more joy in it.
So you kind of answered this question, but I'm going to ask it directly. How has this made you feel doing this during this time?
Oh, it's just fun. I mean, do I like setting up at 8 o'clock in the morning? No. Do I mind it? No, because I know what the outcome is. Do I look forward to it? Nah. I look forward when we sit and play and we have a good time and stuff. So it's just the way you look at it. I mean, yeah, we have a great time, so why not?
And I got to tell you, he looks forward to, it's almost like it surprises him every single week. When we get done with a song, the response is, honk, honk, honk. And I always look over him. He does that face right there. He's just like, oh my gosh.
It just cracks me up. Cracks me up. Or we'll be done a rehearsal and he'll go, cool. That song was cool.
Cool. Well,
that's what you look forward to. Cool.
It's been every single week, it seems like. We've kind of gotten in a little bit of a groove, but every single week we learn something new. We have to try something new. We have to improvise. We have to do something a different way. But I know early on when we started doing it out here, you said your neighbor who lives, you live about a mile down that way, could hear the service on his radio from the FM transmitter here. And so it's reached out to an awful lot of people.
It does. It's made a big difference to a lot.
And making the presentation on Facebook better has reached out to a whole heck of a lot of people.
Opened so many doors.
Yeah,
so many doors when you can do that.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
Let's keep it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
We'll do it again.
Yeah. Thank you for being one of the helpers.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's fun.
It's been my joy to be a helper with you. So that's our Friday Helpers. Meet the Helpers this week. Have a good one.
See you Sunday.